All right, this is the 2022 Yamaha R3 bike review, 600-mile review to be exact. Let's talk about this bike a little bit. You know, I got this bike a couple months back, and I must say I love it. There's a couple things that I would trade on it, but overall, I'm a happy camper. I mean, it looks great. It rides great. It's very smooth. It's a very smooth ride. And there's not much you can really complain about when it comes to this bike. Giving you guys a couple of angles. So let's talk about the couple things that I dislike really quick, which is, you know, going to be very small part of this video because I don't really dislike anything about the bike. Number one, let's go with the tail lights. You know, these things are big and bulky, pretty old school. On a nice looking bike like this, you probably want something a little bit different. I mean, if they weren't so big and bulky, I think they'll be fine. The tail is fine for me. A lot of people delete this tail on the bike. That's fine. That's not the problem for me. The problem for me is the big bulky yellow blinkers. I mean, if they were thinner and more clear, like how you see on the Kawasaki bikes, I would like to see that. You know, I would like to see that on this bike. Look how this sticks out on the front end of the bike. Come on, dude. I mean, if you like it, you like it, but for me, I don't like it. You know, I honestly don't like it. I wish they were clear turn signals. It just looks too old school on this bike in my personal opinion. The next thing I'll say I'll dislike about the bike is the clutch lever. This thing here sticks out pretty far. Look at how far I'm reaching out. That's pretty far. Some motorcycles have a lever here that you can adjust and pull the clutch in. So let's say if you wanted it around like right here, you know, that's a good spot. That's a good spot to have your motorcycle clutch. And you know, I feel like I'm reaching out pretty far. You know, that's a wide grip. Big hands or small hands, that's a pretty wide grip, to be honest. And I can't adjust that. I mean, I could go and buy some levers, you know, in the aftermarket, but on a bike this nice, I kind of don't want to do too much, you know, aftermarket stuff. I'm a stock type of guy. I like to have the bike or anything that I buy, you know, the way that it came. You know, I don't want to edit it too much, and especially not with cars. You know, with cars you actually lose value. I'm not sure in the motorcycle world if you lose a lot of value with aftermarket I can't even say it, excuse me guys, with aftermarket parts. I believe you do, but you know, I'm not gonna do it. So the clutch is that. The last thing I'll say that I dislike about the bike is when I first got the bike, the braking system. The braking system, I felt didn't really give me enough power on the brakes. I felt like it wasn't biting down hard enough when I wanted to stop, which could be an issue. You know, you're riding, you want to be safe at all times. If you need to stop, you need to stop. I'm not saying you're supposed to stop immediately. I'm not saying you're supposed to slam on the brakes either. By no means necessary are you supposed to do that. You know, that'll lock up the brakes and you'll flip the bike, you'll loop the bike, and you don't want that. But I want more power on the stopping. Now, with the 600 miles that I put on this bike and breaking it in a little bit more, the brakes have become a lot better. The rear brake is always going to be fine for me, you know, because that's only 30% of what you're using to stop the bike. You know, the main power of your braking power is going to come from right here. You know, this is going to get this bike to a stop, you know, really quickly. It's supposed to. This bike is a little bit laggy in my experience, but it's getting better, I must say. In the 600 miles, it feels a lot better than when I first got the bike. Okay, now let's talk about what we like about the bike. Let's talk about what we love. This color looks amazing. This color looks amazing. I'm gonna say it one more time. This color looks amazing, guys. Like, it looks so good in the sun. I've gotten multiple compliments on it. I mean, look at it. It looks so good. The gloss is, you know, really shiny. And this bike isn't even all the way clean, and it looks pretty good in my opinion. um, that color, the looks on this bike is amazing. I mean, you know, some people don't even understand that this is a starter bike. That people that even ride, I've seen people come up to me and say, hey, is this an R6? You know, a bike that costs, you know, 2 to 3 times more than this bike, you know, on a given day, depending on what you have on the bike. You know, some people, is that an R7? No way, dude, this is not an R7. You know, this is an R3. You know, this bike is a beginner bike, beginner friendly, but it looks really, this thing looks mean. Look at it. It looks mean on the front end. I've actually met up. I'm not gonna say met up. These guys were here and they had bikes here, and the guy had an R6, and that was my first time seeing an R6 next to the R3 like that. And man, you really can't. If you don't know anything about bikes, you wouldn't know. If you don't know anything about Yamaha, you wouldn't know. You'll think, hey, this bike can keep up with that bike. I mean, if you know anything about motorcycle, you look at the tires. Yeah, they look a little bit small, and that's the giveaway. You know, the tires will be the giveaway. You know, about the power on the bike. You'll be able to tell, hey, oh, that tire is really small compared to a, you know, 600 or liter bike, you know, tire. The next thing we like about the bike is this dash. A lot of people, I feel like, don't talk about it enough. You know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 20 years ago, you're not getting a dash like this, especially not on a beginner motorcycle. Look at that thing, man. The only thing is missing is color. I mean, other than that, I mean, you can't really beat that, you know? You can't really beat this at all, you know? You got the clock, you got the time, you got how long you've been riding the odometer. I mean, you can't really beat this at all, in my personal opinion. So, I mean, just check it out, guys. I love the dash, in my personal opinion. Let me turn this back off. All right, let's get to part 2 of the Yamaha R3 review. Now, I was talking about what I like about the bike, and I told you guys the attention this thing gets. I mean, I was just having another 5-minute conversation about how good the bike looks. It's an amazing looking bike. But moving on to more of the stuff that I like about the bike, it's light. I mean, a lot of people have heavy bikes and they wish they had a lighter bike so they can turn easier. Honestly, if you're a beginner rider, if your bike is light, it'll save you from falls. You won't fall because you can keep the bike up pretty much. I still need to get frame fighters on here. Still got the lights on there, but I mean, there's a couple times where I was falling down, and you know, I put that foot down and, you know, use my strength and pick it back up, guys. I mean, you can't really much beat it as far as the weight on it. It's only about 300 something pounds. So it's a very light bike. I really almost fell and, you know, did a lot of cosmetic damage one day. I kind of slipped in some rocks as I was parking the bike. And I mean, the bike was, the handlebars were at least down here. I mean, so it just goes to show having a light bike helps a lot, you know. I really love this motorcycle, guys. It looks great. I mean, you wouldn't be here watching this video if you didn't think this bike looked good. You know, it's a good looking bike, especially for a beginner motorcycle. I can't stress that enough. I mean, the dash, the aerodynamics, the color, the paint, you know, the attention, the diversity this bike has. You know, it's a fun bike. You know, people who ride fast bikes, they want to ride this bike as well. So, I mean, hopefully you guys are really, you know, if you're thinking about this bike, you're really going to get it. I mean, I hope whoever wants this bike actually gets it. I mean, I don't regret it, not one bit. I just don't. I mean, it's really nice. It's just a really nice bike. I just rode through the canyons back here, and let me tell you, it's a ride for sure. It's a fun ride, you know, a very, very fun ride. So, you know, if you're thinking about getting the R3, especially the 22 version, the 2022 version that I have here, I mean, get it. You know, don't think about it too hard. Some people might persuade you not to get the bike because they don't ride or want to ride like you. So, You know, just don't think about it too hard. If you can afford it, get it. You know, don't break the bank. It sucks buying bikes right now, but if you can afford this bike, by any means, get it. You know, it's a cheaper bike, you know, compared to, you know, Harley Davidsons like these guys have here down here. I mean, a lot cheaper than those things down there. Those are some nice ass bikes. You know, when I first started out, I kind of only had a thing for sports bike, but I learned how to ride a motorcycle on a Harley actually. So I took the class, the MSF course at Harley Davidson, and they gave us a Harley Davidson to ride, and, you know, learned about the Harley Davidson culture a little bit. You know, they've been around for a while, they've been doing it big for a while, so I mean, those are some nice ass bikes too, but you know, I couldn't afford anything like that. They want as much as a car. So if you want to have some fun, you want to get out and ride, and you want to get some looks, and you want to, you know, become a part of the biking community, and, you know, just overall have fun and be safe, this is the bike to do it on, man. If you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching the video. Give it a like if you liked the video. Comment down below what you would like to see in the future on this channel about this motorcycle and other motorcycles. And then subscribe. Turn those post notifications on so you can get an update on when I drop any new video. Thanks guys. Peace.